So this project, we're going to be making a platform for a couple of compressors that are going to drive the automatic tool changer or the ATC on the shop bot. And plus, I want to do some special features to the platform in the sense of making the compressors a little more vibration friendly because of how I'm going to pipe the air supply. In terms of how the piping is going to run, I want to minimize how much vibration the tools will actually be feeling. So what we're going to do is take a look at what I've got, and we will begin drawing the platform that we're going to make to rest these two compressors on. Let's move on. Okay, so we've gotten to a position where we realize our drill caster plate isn't working the way that I thought it would. So let's look at that tool path. So the positioning is wrong on the placement of the pocket for the platform. It's a ½ inch off. So when I see a ½ inch, I realize, a half inch divided by 2 is 1/4 inch. And that tells me that I have the wrong orientation. I should have been on probably the inside of the line, is what I should have been on this. And I was not. I'm sure of it because I'm in the wrong position. So, we'll check that out in a moment. So we've got our passes, our safe Z. We'll ramp into it. Let's calculate. So we're going to turn all the equipment on and we're going to rerun that. The first half of that array is what we'll do.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Okay, we've successfully got our bottom prepped. There's no other preparations to make. I reset the order of this array. Now, the bottom line is I don't expect that I'm ever going to run this again. We can turn off the pocket caster plate layer, and we can move on to what we're going to do on the top of the tool. And the top of the tool is going to just receive, it's going to receive the same sort of treatment of what was just done, frankly. As I had said, it showed earlier, I'm going to bring the feet, so to speak, of the compressors down flush. I'm going to have to measure those. All I'm going to make them is flush. I've got some vibration washers that I'm going to put there. I'll allow a little bit of tolerance for the head of those. I will pre-drill the holes again for that. And I think we're going to be in good shape. So let's start with detailing the top of the unit and completing this project.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
All right, we are moving to the top side of the workpiece now, and the home stretch. One more toolpath array to do. It'll be a pocket and a drill, like I said, like we just did on the bottom. So I've got both of the compressors wheeled over to the computer station, and basically what we're going to be figuring out is where we're going to place these straps that these sit on. A couple of holes, and there are of course 4 of them. Each unit has 2. How far over? How far back? On this side it's going to be a different dimension because I want to keep the drain off from hanging off the edge. So this is what we're doing now, figuring out where those are, and I do have to measure the thickness of that. So let's move on. So the strap is 150 thousandths thick. Here's the washer. So something neat came up with the hole that we'll have to drill for that as well. And the thickness of the washer is 0.24. So if we want the top of that strap to be flush with the top of the surface, we need to mortise that 150 plus 240. The issue with that, however, it's not going to really be sitting on that very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with the 150 thousandths, and we're going to add half of the thickness of this. That's going to bring us down to 240, 120, so 270, 0.27 inch. 0.27. We're going to make 3 pockets. Half of this thickness, this diameter, and then the 7/16 for the, oh, what's the diameter of this? That's 7/16. Okay, that's the ID. That's perfect. That's what our bolt will go through. So the depth is going to be 150 for the strap that the tool sets on. Half of 240 is 120, so that's 270. Then we're going to recess this into a small pocket, half of that thickness. And that'll give us this sitting on the washer, I think. Let's start with, we'll adjust as we need to. So let's go back to the camera, the screen.
If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video.
Okay, we've got everything loaded, and we're going to see if this works. Got it re-zeroed, material surface, a couple of spoiled wood, a couple of scrap in here. Obviously, all the work we're going through. I could have just left them on these parts, I suppose.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, so we've run a complete test of the tool path in some scrap, and it works. It takes quite some time because of the 1/8" end mill, obviously. And luckily, the tool pathing is good. The issue is I've got to increase the gap distance on my array copy tool path by 1/16 of an inch. Probably 1/16 is what we'll do. They'll fit in there nicely. I've got my rubber washers, and it looks good. So I'm going to adjust the tool path and then run it for good, run it for real. Let's do it.
Okay, so I have a sacrificial file here that I've used. I didn't want to make any changes to the original file while we were cutting the example that we just saw. And all I need to do is decrease this gap distance ever so slightly. I'm sorry, increase the gap distance because they're too close together. So let's go back to our primary file. Right on. So I'm thinking that all I need to do is, the Y gap. What's very interesting is my Y gap is actually mathematically correct, but my workpiece is actually 1/8 of an inch smaller than this. What I've cut is 21 13/16, and I cannot explain why. It turns out the math is correct in the sense that right now the gap between the straps of the compressors is actually in real life 21 15/16. That's what I've got here. But what isn't correct is I've made my cutout 2 1/8, whereas the actual strap is 2 inch. So that's what's accounting for the fact that I feel like I'm 1/8 of an inch off. So I'm going to change this to 22. That's going to scooch this out slightly further. Yeah, 22 need to be here. Yeah, 2 1/8. That's what's accounting for it. Okay, so half of the distance here and then half of it on the other side is what would explain that. All right, so let's close this. Yeah, I'm reasonably confident that it's going to work correctly. So let's close and let's save array toolpath straps. That's the file that we want. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pause this while I zero the machine as we get to doing what we're doing here. Fingers crossed.
If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, we've got the piece loaded.
The vacuum probably isn't going to be doing much because of the pocketing that we did underneath, but we're really not disturbing the material very much with that bit, which is kind of the point. Anyway, that comes to run. So let's put the dust foot on. Let's bring it down here.
can see that our piece moved down the table. Okay. Page up. Escape. M2 12, comma 44. Let's move it out of the way so that I can move. And I could tell that it moved. No, maybe not. Yeah, actually, it looked like it did. Now I'm thinking it has not. Yeah, you know what? The 0 is actually not to the outside of that. It's just ever so slightly in. I'm going to bring it back home and restart the tool path. I think we're okay. I'm obviously just being very cautious. So, MH. And then we're going to do an MZ 3.5 and we'll start the tool path. MZ 3.5. Now we're where I want to be. Now let's cut the part. Great tool path straps. Yeah, that's what it's called. Start. So we found that our depth, I cut the first strap pocket, but we found that our depth was not deep enough, and it was off slightly, 20-30 thousandths of an inch. So let's go over what I've done. What I've done is so the issue is zeroing off of the material of the machine bed. So zeroing off of here. The issue is certainly there is a difference in the true height between the machine bed and when I get over here on this 6-piece lamination, I'm getting off, I zeroed over here. And I zeroed to the machine bed because initially I couldn't zero because I have way too much happening here to get the tool to zero with the long bit and then raise up high enough without bottoming out. And I understand that to be called a YZ turn. But with the tiny little 1/8-inch bit, I am able to zero off the machine, off the material surface. And now we're going to rerun it because I did notice when I tested this, I was not sitting flat enough, is the bottom line. I was sticking out 50 thousandths. And It's not a lot. It doesn't matter. I'm bolting a couple of compressors down to some pieces of wood. But a lot of this is also the process of simply learning how the tool works, learning how the science of CNC works, learning what not to do, and learning how to do it more correctly. So at this point, I'm just going to rehome the machine. I'm going to start the tool path over, because now that we have zeroed to our material surface, the thickness doesn't matter anymore. It does for the 3D rendering. And I did, of course, rerun this. And you can see 0.37. So that's really what it has to be. So we're going to close. I have recalculated this already, but I'm going to look at when I rerun the MH. The material has not moved at all, so we're good. We're not stressing the workpiece at all. I'm not going to let this 3-hour tool path run and have it less than what I would like it to be. So let's load the cut part, and then I'll know based on the time. Yeah, 2:46. Yeah, I just resaved it, so literally I'm good. Let's reload, and let's just start. The air compressor is not, the dust collector is not running, but I'm gonna walk over and turn it on now. I was gonna recut that, but it does need to repocket that because it's not feeding. Back in. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.